So I get a phone call from one of my students today, and she was telling me about a deal that a realtor brought to her. This realtor brought her a deal, which was a single family property in Newark. Purchase price was, I think, $190, and after repair value, or what we call in the industry ARV, was $380. So on the surface, this sounded like a good deal, but knowing that it was A, single family property, and B, where it was located at in Newark, I was like, let's dig into this a little bit more. So once I dug into it and I realized that the purchase price was $190, and this was a full gut rehab, and this was a single family property, and the property, when you're dealing with full gut rehabs, these aren't like cosmetic jobs where you could come in and just, do a little $30, $40, $50,000 rehab and you're good. No, full gut, you're talking $100,000 plus. So let's say 100, 120, 130, 140, 150, depending on the size of the house, will determine how much you actually have to put into it. So with this particular house, let's just assume $120,000 rehab. If you're purchasing the house for $190, when you add on that $120 in rehab, you're at $310. Guess what? The ARV wasn't really $380. The realtor thought it was $380. It's not. The ARV in that neighborhood, you're lucky if you sell that house for $300,000. And I had my students send me the comps that the realtor gave her, and as I suspected, the numbers were way off. The realtor used some comp from, across town, and it had, no bearing, totally different. It bordered South Orange. It was like a block away from South Orange. So the numbers were totally skewed $100,000 higher. And the realtor used that comp to justify an ARV on this property on this side of town. It just illustrates the fact that I made a couple weeks ago when I sent the message to the realtors, imploring realtors to learn how to work with investors. Take the course that I'm teaching so that you guys can be adequate when it comes to working with investors. So you guys know how to analyze deals. So you guys know how to crunch the numbers. So you guys know how to work the rehab and make sure that everything is what it's supposed to be, so that when you present it to an investor, it makes sense. And you're not looking crazy because you don't know what you're doing. And a lot of realtors don't know what they're doing when it comes to working with investors and when it comes to rehab projects. So this was a perfect illustration. I spoke to the student. I'm glad she reached out to me and shared this with me, because I saved her a lot of time, effort, energy, frustration, because she wanted to submit an offer and the numbers totally didn't work. And I told her she needs to speak to the realtor. You need to let the realtor know. Give the realtor some constructive criticism and let that realtor know that you need to tighten up, because you don't really know what you're doing. And this happens a lot. A lot of realtors get at me and they send me deals that don't work, or they're even scared to even approach me because they know that I know the numbers and they know that I can kind of pick things apart. And if it's not right, I can tell within seconds that it's not right. So they don't even deal with me because they're just not prepared. They're not educated enough. And if you are in this game and you can only get money on this side of the fence, working with buyers and sellers, you leave out a whole other side of investors that you could be making money with. You can literally double your income just by learning how to work with investors. Because you make money on this side, imagine if you knew this side as well. You could get money on both ends and life is good. You could literally double your salary. You invest whatever it costs to take my course, whatever it takes to take my course, you spend $7,500, right? You waste money on these BS courses that you take to continue your education when it comes to your license. You don't learn anything. You think you're learning something, but you're not really learning how to work with investors. You take one of my courses and you learn how to do this, and you could double your income like overnight by learning how to tap into a whole nother market. So gotta learn how to think outside the box. And I'm being hard on realtors because realtors are in a pivotal position to where people trust And a lot of people, real estate is a game of who knows and who doesn't know. Who has the education, who has the knowledge is the one who wins in this game. And realtors are under the guise of being trusted, and a buyer or an investor is going to trust and have faith in you that you know what you're doing, and that the numbers are what you think they are, what you say they are, and in a lot of cases it's not. So I'm really pushing and I'm really being hard on realtors because I want you guys to learn this. Like, this is not just for people that want to become real estate investors. If you're in the real estate industry and you don't know all aspects of this, especially when it comes to residential, I'm not talking commercial, I'm not talking none of this other stuff. I'm talking about residential. You're working with buyers, sellers, you should be able to work with an investor as well. Because I'm a buyer and I'm a seller. I just wear a different type of hat. So if you guys don't know how to do that, then you're doing yourself a disservice by not learning and not getting educated. So, like I said, my student, I just saved her a bunch of time and energy and frustration because she would have got her heart broken because she was looking forward to this deal and it would have been dead. Even if you would have locked up the deal, it would have died at the table of the hard money lender, because the hard money lender understands and in a heartbeat will know that this doesn't work. There's no margin here. Your ARV is 300 or 310, and that's what your total deal cost is. Doesn't work. So as realtors, you guys need to learn how to make these numbers work and how to analyze this stuff. So enough with being scared to work with investors. If you don't know something, it's okay that you don't know, but learn it. Stop being afraid to learn new stuff. Like, I can't tell you how many realtors I deal with behind the scenes who I talk to in confidence that tell me, I don't really know how to deal with you guys. I'd like to learn, but I just don't know how to deal with you guys. I don't know how to analyze a deal. I don't know construction costs. I don't know rehabs. I don't know. Get educated. Let's stop playing that game where you don't know and stop being comfortable not knowing and just get the knowledge. Get the education and learn this game. All right? Stop being in an industry that you don't know all the ins and outs of. It's a recipe for disaster. All right? So, that's my message of the night. Realtors, please reach out to me. Talk to me. Let's work together. Let's try to get some money together. When I work with realtors, and I work with a couple of realtors that I've been dealing with for years, and I have a great relationship with them, and I love them because they are true professionals and they know what they're doing, and they know how to analyze numbers, and they know how to evaluate a deal. But that doesn't mean I can't work with other realtors as well. You guys have deals. You learn how to work with investors. You bring deals. We make money on the front end. When I purchase, you make money on the back end when I sell. It's simple. You make money both ways. Why would you guys leave that money on the table and not take advantage of it and learn how to work with investors? Stop being afraid to work with investors. Invest the money from an investor or with an investor like me that could teach you how to do this, and start getting some of this investor money. Start getting some of this rehab money. Who knows? You might want to become an investor yourself. And stop living from paycheck to paycheck or commission check to commission check, and also do your own rehabs. That's the evolution of the game. If I was a realtor, which I was a realtor when I was 19 years old, I learned this when I was very young. That's the evolution. You should be able to transition into becoming investors yourself to take advantage of some of these opportunities. So learn the game. All right? Stop being afraid. I'm not going to bite you. Holla at me. Let's get this going. Reach out to me and we'll discuss options, and I could teach you guys how to work with people like me. All right? Guys, enjoy the night, and I'll check in with you guys tomorrow.